Hold up.
Yo, what's going on, guys? It is Foxy98 here, and welcome back to a brand new F1 2016 career mode video if you guys stay here on my channel. Today we are back with round 3 of my final season in this career mode with my favourite team, Mercedes-Benz. And today we are here for the Chinese Grand Prix. Now, if you do enjoy today's video, drop a like on it. That will be absolutely awesome. Subscribe if you have not yet subscribed already. And I think I still sound like crap. I think I do anyway, but that could be completely different. But anyway, so here for the Chinese Grand Prix, we made one small upgrade from the last race, and that was just to add a little bit more straight line speed to the car in terms of drag. Now, I didn't want to make any engine upgrades to the car because I wanted to have the challenge of Williams being so quick in a straight line, making it difficult for me to defend against them. That was why I went for the drag instead, excuse me, so I could have a bit more straight line speed, and it would be kind of cool. So, in terms of the pole, the poll is still open. If you're thinking, Foxy, what the hell are you on about? I'll tell you right now. So, last episode, which I uploaded, I put out a poll which showed if you guys would like me to upload this career mode as a bunch of videos, or if you wanted me to go back to doing live streams, which I did for the finale of my Williams career mode. Now, I've gone through the poll, and at the moment, there is 11 votes, which states that I should upload them as videos, and 5 uploading them for live streams. So at the moment, it appears that we are going to be keeping the video segments for this career mode for the rest of the season. I'm perfectly happy doing whichever one you guys prefer. The poll is going to remain open until Subscriber Championship is released. As soon as you see Subscriber Championship released on the Monday at around 5 to 6 PM, that is when I will then take the votes from that specific point and basically make the full-on decision. But it appears that you guys would like videos rather than live streams, which is perfectly fine because I can record those whenever I want then and just upload them whenever I want. So that's really nice to see. Anyway, into the practice programs, we felt quite comfortable. The only thing that I'm not doing is tyre wear tests. A, because I don't want to get loads and loads of resource points. And B, because I just don't like doing the tyre wear test. It's just 7 laps of just driving around and around and around. And I just got bored. I just get bored. So I'm not doing tyre wear tests. Some people may say, look, do some tyre wear tests and get some resource points. But I feel like I'm quick enough as it is. I feel like I get enough resource points as it is. Plus, I get the first driver bonus points for this Mercedes. I really can't be bothered to do 7 laps of the tyre wear test. If I was doing 25% races, I'd only have to go around the track 4 times. I'd happily just do 4 laps. But for some reason, when you do the 50% races, they only do 7 laps, and I really just don't have the time and the patience to do that, and it just bores me. So we're not doing that. Into Q1 then, so we actually qualified on the intermediate tyres, which was nice. Into Q2, we're going right at the very depth of the end of Q2 on a set of super soft tyres, but I felt really uncomfortable here. So this lap time is not going to be competitive at all. It's very far off Gutierrez's pace, but it is P2, so we should be safe into Q3, and we are. But only just look, if someone else qualified on a set of super softs, we would be out of qualifying. So Bottas and Raikkonen are the massive shouts there that have missed out on Q3. So they're going to be utterly disappointed not to go on a set of super softs. But we were so close to being knocked out there as my teammate Rosberg and Verstappen and Massa all get good laps in. Into Q3 we go then, and we're coming around the final corner now, and we're going to blast open that DRS there, and across the start-finish line, it's 2/10 slower than Nico Rosberg in Q3, so we are not going to be getting pole position here for the Chinese Grand Prix. In fact, it's going to be P3, so Rosberg beats us to pole position for today's Chinese Grand Prix. Felipe Massa qualifies in second for the Williams car, and then we qualify in third. So technically, it's advantage Mercedes-Benz, as we now have the upper hand against the Williams cars, with Bottas out of position in 11th place, and myself and Rosberg set to take the fight to Massa. So really, one of the Williams cars is out of the way. Now it's going to be a head-to-head fight between me, Rosberg, and Massa. But of course, in the previous 2 races in Australia and in Bahrain, it was me, Rosberg, and Bottas fighting. So really, the Williams cars just have not been consistent this season, and that needs to change if they're going to win this championship. But looking at the session goals then for the race itself, Emma just wants us to party in the Amber Lounge. So that's all she cares about, really. So we don't really need to bother about the session goals. I just go out there and just have fun racing. I'm not really bothered what goals they set me. Of course, I will go into more detail of those goals if I obviously retire from a race and, you know, about to get fired. But that doesn't seem to be the case at the moment. as we get ready to race here for this Chinese Grand Prix. And as you can see, we've got a wet Grand Prix in store for us. So this is going to be very interesting to see. As you can see, like I said before, you're not listening to Crofty and Anthony. You can probably hear it in the background, but I can't be asked to let you guys listen to those boring people. So I'm going to do it myself, because I'm probably even more boring, but oh well. So as you can see, the grid is lining up as full. We've got Felipe Nasr in the top 10. I never actually spotted that. So we've got Sauber in the top 10. Really good job there from Felipe Nasr. Button and Palmer lining up nice in line of stern with each other. And then we've got kind of a bog standard, really. There's Marcus Ericsson. Put it into that perspective. Marcus Ericsson's at the back, and Nasr is up in 10th place and could score some really valuable points for Sauber in their fight for anything, really. Having a look then at the race strategy, it's actually going to be wet all race long. So we are going to stay on the green running shoes the whole way through. So that's going to be very interesting to see how these green running shoes perform for us and if we can get them to the end of the race. So what we decided to do then was underfuel this car like hell, because quite frankly, we're not going to be running in rich mixture for that long, if at all, really. Because of course it's raining, so we're just going to get so much wheel spin if we run in rich mix. It's just going to be horrible. So we got a good start there, getting past Massa on the formation lap, so that helps. Sorry, I have a really bad cold. I'm sorry. Anyway, it was 4, now 5 red lights in. It is lights out, and we go for the Chinese Grand Prix. And it's a slow and sluggish start from myself here. Not the best start I could have possibly wished for, but the secondary phase of my start is lightning quick. But Massa and Rosberg cover my tracks here, so I brake early into turn 1, and I'm going to sneak it down the inside, and we do just that here. Rosberg goes around the outside of Massa. We're going to go down the inside of the pair of them here, and up into the lead of the Chinese Grand Prix. A really great start from us here in this race, and now we've got the advantage against Nico Rosberg, Felipe Massa, and Max Verstappen behind us, with the other Red Bull of Ricciardo and then the Ferraris a little further far back there, as we now take the lead in towards this difficult end of the first sector. Just trying to get used to the weather here and see what we can do. But like I said, you can see it is Rosberg and Massa who follow me on behind, but I did exactly what I wanted to do at the start. My initial getaway was extremely poor, but the secondary phase of the start really worked in my favour. And the problem is, I wanted to go straight through the middle of the pair of them, but they closed the door on me, so I had to brake early and just use the inside of turn 1 and use the extra grip I had here. And whatever, onto lap 1 here, oh my god, lost the back end there. Back end came out as we went onto the curb there, so around the banking corner, we went onto the curb, onto the AstroTurf slightly, and just lost the rear end, so we need to be careful of that. On to lap 2 of the Grand Prix now. We're breaking into the final corner here for the end of this second lap, start of the third lap. And as you can see, we're going to come across the line and set the fastest lap of the race so far. And automatically, I'm in an absolute world of my own in this race. I am in the groove. This Mercedes car in the wet is absolutely phenomenal. Lap 4 of the Grand Prix, there's a bit of front wing there, so someone's had some contact somewhere on the field. But look at the gap that I'm building over the likes of Rosberg and Massa. And this was the opportunity. I saw it because when we were qualifying, as we run a little bit wide there, lose the back end of the car. But I'm still going to take a weird line to sit the fastest lap of the race so far. But when we qualified in Q1, it was intermediate conditions, and I was absolutely flying compared to everybody else. So I'm not going to lie and stay around and say, oh yeah, this is a complete surprise, my pace. I knew my pace was phenomenal in the wet just from Q1. So when I saw that it was raining in the race, I was, running around my room extremely ecstatic, because this is why I am absolutely dominating this Chinese Grand Prix. And at the moment, I can only really see a safety car or something really screwing me over. As we carry on then on to lap 7 of the Grand Prix now, unfortunately, Carlos Sainz is out of this Chinese Grand Prix, and we're going to find out why. So he's catching up to the back of Rio Haryanto in his Toro Rosso, and his engine has blown up, unfortunately. So Ripperoni, Carlos Sainz, that's a big shame for him. And, That might be commentator's curse, because it's now a safety car, and I know exactly why, because I've literally understood this game. So my engineer wants me to change strategy, but the problem is I wanted to pit on lap 14 and go to the end. So I decided, no, I'm not going to pit because I don't think it's necessary. So he wants me to pit, and I'm like, no, I'm just going to pit on lap 14 where my intermediate stints are. However, my teammate and the other rivals behind me actually stopped for a new set of inters, and by this point here on lap 8, I was like, well, I've got no choice now. I'm going to have to pit for a set of inters, otherwise I'm going to be absolutely molested in this Grand Prix. So as you can see, we are going to have to come in and change for inters, which means we are going to lose some track position. Ricciardo is already going to go in front of us, so I'm not sure how far down we are going to go. But the reason the safety car came out, basically, it's not, I'm not trying to say this in a cocky way, but because my advantage out front was so big, the game saw that the person that was retired, in order to make it more interesting, because the gap was so big out front, is to pull out a safety car. Then, of course, the field is bunched together and you can get back and have some challenging racing. That's sort of like the program behind it. They don't want just one dominant race from start to finish. If there's a retirement and you're like 20 seconds clear after like lap 12 of 27, they're going to bring out a safety car to bunch back the field and make you fight for your races again, which I like. I mean, I'm not going to bother. Like, I was dominating this Grand Prix, and I thought, wow, this is going to be a really short video. But now, we've got some problems. We've got Massa, Grosjean, Ricciardo, and Rosberg to overtake, and maybe someone else, because I've just realised that I'm in P6, and I've only named 4 drivers. We've got Bottas as well. Okay, so Bottas has come out of nowhere, and he's now P2 in this Chinese Grand Prix. So, okay, that's kind of that's put a spanner in the works, but we're going to get back racing here once again, and we're going to try and get onto the back of Felipe Massa, and we've got a, no, crap exit out of the final corner. It's not going to help us out, and Matt Williams is in the slipstream there of the Haas car, and you can see Massa just flies off there with that Williams engine, and he's going to go straight into turn 1, but he's only got stuck behind Romain Grosjean, hasn't got past him, so I'm just going to do what I've always done, just going to go down the inside, keep my car in, keep my nose stuck, and there it is, down the inside of Massa and Grosjean, up into P4 now. Next up on the road is my teammate Nico Rosberg in the Mercedes-Benz, and I want to get past him as quick as I can, because I feel like I've got a better pace than Rosberg, as we've seen in this race. But maybe these new set of tyres may even out the field a bit. But we're closing up to the back of Rosberg here, as we try our hardest in this middle sector. Rosberg actually slips in Bottas here, and Massa's still behind Grosjean, who has got a Ferrari and some other cars right there. So Grosjean definitely being a little bit of a train here, and that's already allowing the top 4 to pull away at a good rate of knots here. So I'm not sure if Massa's going to get past Grosjean. My bet is he'll get straight past him on the straight there, as we coming through these difficult complexes and corners, just trying to get in hand on the weather here, as we now try and look, as Massa's still behind Grosjean there. Slipstream with Nico Rosberg. We are going to brake a little bit later. I've actually messed my braking point up, but surprisingly enough, that overtake on Nico Rosberg was not planned. I can tell you, whilst I was racing, that was not a planned overtake. I actually wanted to close up to Rosberg, but I was sliding all over the place. I had to go for the move. Rosberg gave me the space, and we're up into P3 out of complete nowhere. That was not my fault. As you can see, we're trying to slipstream Valtteri Bottas, though, down the straight here. Look how quick that Williams is. He was right there, and now he's gone straight for a move on Verstappen. Massa's going for a move as well on Grosjean, as Rosberg follows suit here. But however, Bottas didn't quite get the move done into the into the hairpin, and that has allowed me to close back up. And Ricciardo nearly took off my front wing there. That would have been devastating, but I did lift off there, giving myself plenty of space now. There's Ricciardo, and Bottas seem to be ready to, as Massa there gets the job done. We're now having a look at Daniel Ricciardo here. I actually couldn't get past Ricciardo. He was in the slipstream with Bottas, so I'm just going to go for the famous turn 1 maneuver, because, you know, turn 1 works every single time. So I might as well do it again, and there you go. Down the inside of Ricciardo. Oh, might as well just do it around the inside of Bottas as well. Thank you very much. That is turn 1 done and dusted, and now we're back into the lead of the Chinese Grand Prix. I swear, no one actually defends around turn 1. It's kind of weird how it works, but hey-ho, I'm just going to carry on as I wish. And we're back up into the lead of the race now. Rosberg is going to have to deal with Daniel Ricciardo and Valtteri Bottas, because I can't be bothered to, because I've already got past them. As we go purple in the first sector, which isn't really a surprise, considering we had a good slipstream off Daniel Ricciardo. So that's kind of expected really from us in this Chinese Grand Prix. Now we need to start building that gap back up and really get back working. So into the middle sector we go. Just going to follow on with my car a little bit. There's not been a lot of onboard action with myself. So I left this footage in just to show you how I'm working the car, how I'm letting the car feed through the corners, and how I'm just, you know, letting the car just flow, really. And you see the back end coming out a little bit there. You don't want to be too aggressive. Even with traction control, I've actually tested some races on traction control to see how much different it is. Still need to be careful, because the wet weather system in this game is absolutely brilliant. I really do like how they've programmed all this wet weather system in this game. So here on lap 12, as we actually lose the back end of the car. Oh, we've lost it. Oh, I thought we lost it again then, as we got onto that curb. I really get scared when going onto that curb, because I know the back end can just literally send me to Narnia. So I'd rather it didn't here on lap 12 of the Chinese Grand Prix. We've got Bottas behind us still, Ricciardo next, and I think Rosberg's going for a move. Nope, he's not. I saw on the minimap there, he looked rather close, but Felipe Massa is also up into P5 now, after he got past Romain Grosjean, so it'll be interesting to see the Williams' pace. But what we've seemed to have realised here is that, oh, so we go and set the fastest lap of the race so far. I didn't even notice that. But what we've noticed here is this Mercedes is not quick in the dry yet compared to the Williams. But what I'm seem to be finding out, and what you guys are obviously finding out in this race, is that this Mercedes is a hell of a lot faster than the Williams in the wet. And that's where they struggle. So, Codemasters, if you're watching this, right, and you're programming my season, I'd like full wet for the rest of the season. Thank you very much. So I didn't say anything at all. But here on to lap 13 of the Grand Prix, we're still pressing onwards. And a little bit worried on there on the exit turn 4 as Bottas is now, I think that says, like 3 seconds back already. So we are flying here. And I'm sorry, but this Williams car definitely needs some more downforce. I'm trying to think what upgrades I put on the Williams. I think I put 3 upgrades on every single category, if I'm not mistaken. But I probably am, because I'm retarded, so hey-ho. But I think it is 3 upgrades on every single section of that Williams car. So really, it shouldn't be that poor. But of course, this Mercedes has also had quite a few upgrades. But we're going to be very cautious with the upgrades with this Mercedes car. Because we need to be, because we don't want to be flying through in every race so far, but we are flying through in this one, so yeah, that's kind of awkward, but we haven't been all plain sailing here. Round the long banking corner then here on lap 13, just trying to get the measure of the car. We've hit the gas turn. Oh god, don't go in the wall, please. Oh god, that was embarrassed. That was a big mistake there for myself. Yellow flags deployed for that. I got onto the AstroTurf, auto-corrected it to the left, then it flung to the right, and then eventually I was going off the track there, and that was a bit worrying. But further back here, we've actually got my teammate Nico Rosberg, who, whilst I was having my off there, my big off in fact, Rosberg is getting the move on now, and he's catching up to Daniel Ricciardo here very, very quickly. He's actually going to get in the slipstream here of Ricciardo. Rosberg now coming down the inside of Daniel Ricciardo. Will he make the move stick? He does, as there's my car just flashing through there, further up on the screen. And that's a good move there from Nico Rosberg. And next up, he's going to have to chase the power-whoring Valtteri Bottas here. Oh, never mind. Bottas is actually coming into the pits. You can see it here now. Bottas makes his pit stop here. A very interesting pit stop. This is on lap 13, the start of lap 14. Now, my pit stop was scheduled for lap 14. Does that mean that... What I think this means is that Bottas and Ricciardo did not pit under the safety car and have carried onwards. Therefore, they gained all that track position, and now they're making their scheduled pit stop and did not pit under the safety car. Because on lap 19 of the Grand Prix now, this is when my pit stop is. So that's probably what I'm thinking of. So Bottas and Ricciardo, as I thought they were really in the hunt in this Grand Prix, turns out that they're not. I actually think then that they took advantage by not pitting under the safety car, which is why I lost out to them. Rosberg, Massa and Grosjean all pitted under the safety car, I think. I'm not sure about Grosjean. I know Rosberg and Massa did. Which means that our strategy has converted to a 2-stopper. We meant to do a 1-stop race round here, but we have converted to a 2-stop, and it's kind of obvious why, because the safety car came out really early. So actually, Ricciardo and Bottas are not as big as I thought they were, but we're not really that concerned because we're out in the middle of nowhere here, just having a really nice cruise, to be honest, as we lose the lose the steering into turn 1. Definitely wasn't on my phone halfway through this race, not at all. I would never do such a thing. Bernie says don't text and go on your phone and drive, so don't do it. But as you can see then, we are here, and there's a very nice camera shot here of my Mercedes-Benz flying through there, as I absolutely love this Mercedes car. Whoever doesn't like the Mercedes car, I don't like you. That's how it just works. I love this car. And in my F1 2017 career mode, I will make it a justice to get a season in with Mercedes-Benz, because I love that car. But of course, if you want to know my career mode for F1 2017 when it comes out, it's the Force India, because I'm on with the Force is with me, and the Force is pink. But anyway, moving on then onto lap 21 of the Grand Prix. I'm showing this lap because I do believe this is my fastest lap of the Grand Prix, because I'm in rich fuel mixture. No, I'm in standard now, never mind. Yeah, it is my fastest lap of the race, and I thought I would just show it for you guys. So here is the top 3 then. So it is me, Rosberg and Massa. So the 2-stoppers are leading the way at the moment to the 1-stoppers. I think they kind of lost out really, because they had to build such a big gap in such a small amount of time that they may have benefited, like they may have been stuck in traffic, so with their pace up front, they may have been able to have, well, they did a good job to stay up front, but I'm just not sure if the 1-stop was the best way to go in the race. It could have helped them out, I'm not really sure. We'll have to have a look when the race classification comes on through. Into the middle sector now, still going purple. As you guys know from my live streams, remember back in the Brazilian Grand Prix when #purple came around in the streams. That was because in the Brazilian Grand Prix, in the Williams, we were so far in front after such a dominant race that I actually pitted for a set of soft tyres and blitzed it round and went purple. And as you can see here, I'm still keeping the purple trend going. You know, I've not forgotten about that. So we are doing hashtag Team Purple right now, and we're trying our hardest to set the fastest lap of the race so far. Into the hairpin, very nicely done into the hairpin, very well made there. And you can see that we're just letting the car flow in this Chinese Grand Prix. Round the final corner we come now, clipping onto the curb, very nicely indeed. Good exit, and we're going to take a nice short run to the line there to set the fastest lap there into the 1 minute 49s now we are, as our gap increases as we put the car back into lean fuel mixture, because I may or may not have been using too much fuel and I needed to save some to actually get to the end of the race, which was a bit awkward. But as you can see on lap 27 down on the bottom right, you can see that the fuel load is back to normal status there, as unfortunately Hulkenberg has retired from this Grand Prix in his Force India. Of course, that's not realistic because in life he's actually in the Renault. But as you can see there, it's an engine failure for him, but it's on lap 27, so there is no chance of a safety car, unfortunately, for everyone else that wants to close up to me. But on to lap 28 of the Grand Prix now. I'm, being a bit cocky, but hey-ho. We've had an absolutely stunning Chinese Grand Prix. Threw a little bit of a spanner in the works when the safety car came out. Had a couple of offs, but we did do it, and we did take the win here in the Chinese Grand Prix for a hat-trick of wins, which is something that we never actually did in my Williams career mode. We never got a hat-trick of wins, so very pleased with that one. Overall, in terms of the race itself, we were absolutely superbly dominant in the wet weather conditions, and I hope for some more wet weather in the future. But no, I'm really taking advantage of some really good luck and good racing. And what the biggest thing is when I've been quicker in stints in the race, I take advantage of that. And then when the AIs are closing in on me, I make sure that they don't close on me as quick as I got away from them. So for the likes of the Australian Grand Prix, I was out of position and I made the one-stop work, gave myself track position and Bottas just couldn't get in front of me. Bahrain Grand Prix, I was flying on the super soft tyres. Quick in the start of the soft and medium stints, but Bottas came back at me, but I made sure the gap was so big that it would take him too long to close me down. Here in the Chinese Grand Prix, the wet weather conditions just suited me and my car to absolute perfection. And, the safety car threw a spanner in the works, not gonna lie. We had to get some overtakes done, so there was some on-track action. Look at the full classification. It's a Mercedes 1-2 for today. So order is resumed back at Brackley with the Williams car next up. I'm not quite sure where the likes of Bottas and Ricciardo finished. Raikkonen finished down in 12th, so shocking result for him. There's Bottas finishing in 7th place. So as you can see, just wanted to show you guys, this was ultimate. The whole thing was ultimate, so I didn't change anything, so I was just literally buzzingly fast. As Raikkonen there got a couple of drive-through penalties there for speeding under the safety car, so naughty AIs. But in the driver's standings, we increase our lead in the top of the table after a hat-trick of wins. This is kind of like Nico Rosberg's season, isn't it? When he got a hat-trick of wins. He actually got the first 4 race wins, so fair play to that. And then the constructor standings, Mercedes stay in front. But guys, thank you very much for watching this Grand Prix. Hope you guys have enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to click a like on the video. And if you have not yet clicked the subscribe button, don't forget to click the subscribe button. It would mean absolutely everything to me to help my channel grow in further form. And as you can see, we're now neck and neck with Nico Rosberg in the rivalry. We don't make any upgrades for this race because there's just no need. Next up is going to be the Russian Grand Prix, and hopefully we can get another race win there. So thank you very much for watching. Take care all, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace!